Hey everyone, today is Wednesday, May 30th. Yeah, totally knew that off the top of my head. Yeah. Um, I forgot what I was going to say. Yesterday, I played some Star Trek Online. Did some of the. My decision was made for me because Diablo 3 was down for 8 hours. And I started playing games at noon and didn't feel like switching over from STO to Diablo 3, so yeah. I decided to do the investigate report daily, where you do 3 player created missions. I had already done one, and so I needed to do 2 more. I did 2 1 shots, which were actually very good. I had a lot of fun with them. And then I was able to do it again because I had had the mission in my log for so long. The 3 I did were a 3-parter about Borg nanites and scientists and the Klingons and stuff like that. So it was pretty fantastic. Suffice to say, by the end, I incinerated an atmosphere. So that's one thing. But yeah, the Foundry missions in Star Trek Online are absolutely incredible, or at least a fair portion of them are. I've only seen a few myself. So, anyways, but then yesterday night I ran my Star Wars Saga Edition role playing game for my friends. They're playing. One of them's playing a Force using Y-wing pilot, and the other one is his gunner. And they also have an astromech droid for all the things they can't do. Make life a little bit easier on them because I'm getting ready to throw some difficult stuff at them in the future. But anyways, they were level 3, and I just sent them on a simple reconnaissance of the solar system they're in, because there's like no details on the Telos system in Star Wars, other than the fact that Telos, the world where Carth Onasi is from and has the planetary starbase that's helping to fix the planet after it was nuked to hell in the Sith War. Um, in right before the beginning of KOTOR, it's bombarded by Admiral Saul Kareth and Revan and Malik's fleet. So here it is, way in the future. It's right after. It's like a couple years after episode 3, when I'm having my players play. And so the world has been rehabilitated already. It's, all well and good. And there's a local rebel base, a resistance group, if you will. It's very small. But they have material, so on and so forth. And I randomly generated the number of rings around the sun, as it were. Telos 4 is the only planet that has actually got any information on it at all, and even then it's pretty slim to nil. So essentially everything I already knew from playing KOTOR 2 applied. And seeing as all 3 of us have played KOTOR 2, we were all pretty familiar with whatever was out there. So I generated a total of 10 things, well, including Telos 4, there were 10 things. So you ignore the sun. Start at 1, 2, 3 was an asteroid belt, 4 was Telos 4, 5, 6 was an asteroid belt that was dense. Dust clouds, all kinds of crap. 7, 8, 9, 10. And so they didn't find anything, really, until they got to Orbit 6. At Orbit 6, they show up in the asteroid field, they do a quick look around. The fighter, a V-Wing starfighter, shows up, shoots at them, and leads them on a merry chase throughout the asteroid field. Eventually, my friends blow it up. They're like, I don't know what the hell was up with that, but sheesh. It gave us an opportunity to really test the space combat rules, movement options, how to operate in an asteroid field, dust clouds. My friend got to use his Starship Tactics powers. We've discovered there are several holes in the collision rule set. Namely, if someone's ramming you, can you avoid collision to get out of the way? Because that guy can't. And if you manage to get out, if you can, which I allowed it, Does the other guy still take half damage because he missed? Or do both of you still take half damage? Or what's going on there? So I said, basically, instead of... When someone tries to move into your square, you have the chance of doing an attack of opportunity to initiate a dogfight, which forces them to stop moving and dogfight with you if you succeed. So I said you have two options here. Take the hit and initiate a dogfight, or try to initiate a dogfight, or avoid the collision and let him cut through. Now, when he gets on the other side of you, you could probably try to initiate the dogfight there. And so that's what he did. Basically, the guy went straight through, got a little bit away, and then my friend played the intercept card, moved up, tried to get into a dogfight, succeeded, then the guy got out of the dogfight, merry chase. So that was long and involved, but it was interesting. I gave them, for that entire encounter, I gave them 500 for killing the guy and 300 for the event. And XP. And then they found a message pod, which I also gave them 300 experience for finding and retrieving and turning in. And then they found the wreckage of a YT something or other, because it was mangled, so you can't tell. You just know it's a YT. It's a Corellian transport. And they reported that and also got 300 experience. So all told, they got 1,400 XP yesterday for a couple hours of play. The whole time, though, a buddy of mine was playing Silent Hunters on his big screen TV. He'd plugged his computer into it. And there was one... He's trying to sink a convoy on its way to England, or United Kingdom. And so he goes underwater, waits him out, they drift by, and he pops up, he fires torpedoes into the crowd, wipes out a significant number. The last ship, he goes under, he waits around, the convoy moves on, leaving a very crippled transport behind. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to pop up, I'm going to surface, and I'm going to fire my deck gun at it. How many shots is it going to take? Buddy of mine says, 50. I said, 3. I'm optimistic here. So he goes, all right. He fires one shot. Ping. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. We waited like a minute, and the thing finally died with one shot. It was crazy. But later, he pulled out the external reserve torpedoes. He had 2 of them. Put them on his ship, one in the front, one in the back. And then fired one, it missed. Fired another, it hit. And in hitting, it maybe did only like 40% of the damage to the ship. So the fleet there's this big gap in the fleet where he is now. And, nobody's around right now. So he goes, what the hell. He surfaces real quick, and he fires a single shot into the middle of the ship, and the entire ship goes up in flames and sinks. And we're like, what? Say what? It was pretty spectacular. So, and then afterwards he had to beat feet out of there, and was able to actually sink another transport entirely with a deck gun, because it didn't have any deck guns. And that allowed him to finish off his missions and then go back in for a new patrol. So that was very interesting. I had a pretty good day yesterday, all told. Star Trek Online dailies, that sort of stuff. Anyways, but I have some dishes I need to take care of, and some trash to put out, and I want to play my wizard in Diablo 3, so we'll see how that goes. But I might do Star Trek again, or something completely different. So we'll see. Sorry I went on so long. Until next time.